Salutations, kindred souls. Welcome to another episode of Lux Martin Enlightenment. I'm Lux, and on this channel we talk about how wisdom, healing, and integration are the tools to your enlightenment. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how separating from old energies can be done without feeling superior. You can rise without looking down. We're going to talk about how to step away from people, environments, patterns, belief systems that no longer serve you, while honoring both yourself and the other things involved in that separation and staying energetically grounded to the intention of why you're separating from those things. Sometimes growth means leaving people, places, or habits behind. However, stepping away is inevitably going to stir up other feelings. That can be guilt or fear or toxic pride. Any and all of combinations that comes with a separation, in a sense of where superiority starts to become a thing. We can rise, we can move forward in life in our expansion without letting that be a part of the process too much. What we're going to talk about today is how to build an emotional skill of staying grounded and staying kindly and humbly devoted to the reason for your expansion, and letting that be the way to keep moving forward, separating yourself from old versions of you, old connections, old places, old jobs that no longer resonate with you, with as much grace and love and compassion for yourself and those other things in connection as possible. We're going to start by breaking down the reality of energetic separation. In my last episode, I talked about how growth in any and all of the ways you want to expand, mind, body, spirit, is inevitably going to create distance. You should get results from whatever you want to growth and pursue and expand upon. It will inevitably create a noticeable difference, whether that's distance or tension, from people or environments that no longer resonate. Obviously, we live in a world full of connections. That can be relationships with loved ones, family members, spouses, work coworkers, even a business partner. However, it is just as relevant to conceptual things such as a job, a lifestyle, a communication style, a belief system. For me, in particular, lately, as I'm filming this video, I'm being very called to observe the detachment and energetic separation between belief systems I no longer operate in, as well as noticing the people, places, and things that were still attached to those, and are both noticing that I no longer resonate or operate in those belief systems. And so our differences are creating this heavy awareness of which the way I'm trying to carry myself now versus the ways in which I used to because of what I believed. Anywho, so what we're trying to do is distinguishing right here that it's important to go forward in your noticing of this energetic tension or distance or separation, distinguishing your reason for making this space. This is the huge check-in question that we conceptually are encouraged to ask ourselves when we're noticing ourselves falling away from old identities, relationships, places, concepts. Are you feeling that you're leaving due to stronger self-alignment or escaping conflict or judgment? So the question, the very real question I've asked myself in real time lately is, does noticing this separation or letting this space grow between myself and this belief system or person, things that are going on in my real life right now, is it causing me to feel peace or relief? Yeah? Relief as in the sense of, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to feel this tension. I don't want to have to deal with this person and the way they're interacting with me. I don't want to have to acknowledge what was and what no longer is at this work environment. Things like that. And so I've had to ask myself many, many times, am I moving forward in devoted peace or in the pursuit of relief and escape? And that right there is a huge pivoting factor in moving forward and letting old things fall away. Not old as in negative or outdated, old as in they just don't vibe with you anymore. They just don't match who you are at this new set point right now. So now we're going to move into, once we've really asked ourselves the question, why am I moving forward? Why am I noticing this space, this separation, this distinction from what was to what is now, who I am now? Recognizing and having compassion for both ourselves and others, because we're all navigating a similar struggle and a similar journey. I talked about in my last episode how we're all pursuing growth and expansion in different areas at different intensities. And so, again, you can resonate with someone about a particular topic, but be very dissonant with them about a different energetic topic, because energetically you're on two very different points. Not one is not better than the other. They're just very different. And so stepping away or letting there be space in order to ease some of that tension doesn't make you better. It means you're honoring your path and your energy. And so when you turn your focus back to honoring your own path, your own energy, your own needs, your own well-being and sovereignty, you're shifting the focus back towards yourself and what is best for you, rather than a noticing of distinction or separation from someone or something else. So now we're going to move into how to make this an integrated skill. To me, this is an emotional skill that has both a practical and a spiritual level that we could put in our daily life toolbox on how to navigate this life and get towards a more enjoyable, enlightened version of ourselves and our lives. Continually reflecting on, am I in ego or am I in peace? Am I moving forward in ego or peace? Or guilt? That's another one, which guilt to me is a portion of ego. And right here, I'll make a vulnerable confession that in my life right now, I'm noticing the places where I am operating in ego, whether that's I felt guilty, and so I stay in a thing or a place or a situation longer than I should have, because I feel bad about the fact that the new me is creating a different kind of rift between myself and this person or place or situation that is becoming so uncomfortable that space is required to ease it. And so rather than pulling myself back down into old versions of me just to fit a mold that makes someone else comfortable, I am letting myself continue forward, knowing that space will inevitably continue to grow. And I can navigate that as peacefully as possible. And I'm also being called to recognize the places where I'm taking my work on growth and maturity and my spiritual growth from a place of egoic superiority, of creating separation, like to show someone, because I was in the wrong. I was in a place of, well, I'll show you that I can create this separation because I'm more mature than you, or because I'm more healed than you, and you're just not there with me. And so we need to not be in communication or closer connection, or I need to make some space. I am very realistically being called in real time to examine and notice, yeah, you are moving through this place of separation from a place of ego. And that's okay, because even in your noticing, maybe you need to rage write on a piece of paper all of the things that you think are no longer serving your growth, and how you're going to release it, and how you're going to make this space or this separation. And then you can sit back and look at this page and go, wow, I am so in my head right now. I am so in my ego about the way I'd like to communicate with this person, or the way I'd like to separate myself from this job or this situation. Wow, look at me noticing my ego flaring up in this situation. This isn't devotion to me. This is ego. This is superiority, or this is guilt. I feel like I need to say this way, or leave this way, or move this way, because I feel bad about what it's causing somebody else to notice. And that's all okay, because I'm noticing myself do it in real time too, where I need to check myself and turn back to devoted self-alignment rather than causing egoic separation. I could be the one causing it. Can I turn back and purify? Can I go deeper and purify my intention for moving forward to a place of what's best for me? And then letting any separation or distance be from a place of love and compassion, and what's the most loving thing I can do for myself and that other person, place, or thing. Turning back. So in your reflection, in your flexing of this muscle and building this emotional skill of checking yourself, checking in with yourself and asking, am I moving forward in devoted peace, or escaping, trying to find relief, or trying to navigate these egoic feelings of either superiority or guilt or avoidance for tension, can I turn back? Can I refocus? Can I stay true to the aim of what I was originally doing in my growth and expansion, which is staying on my path and aligning with myself? Another part of this integration is energy clearing. And I'll say that I actually do this for myself as well. Whether you want to do meditations, cord cuttings, just making a shower more ritualistic in intention, using your sage or your incense, letting sacred smoke be clearing for you. I am an out loud processor. So in my sharing these real-time topics and experiences with you, my out loud processing is an energetic clearing for me. It's how I move through the energy and get to a place of neutrality, peace, and sovereignty. Get to a place where, in my real time experience that I share with you about, say, a tiff I'm having with a loved one, and noticing that this version of Lux wants to navigate this relationship in a new way that this other person that I love is having a hard time doing. And rather than going back to old patterns of connection and communication that we used to, I would like to stay in this version of me that would like to do it differently. I can wobble there. Everybody can wobble, and that's why it's a real-time emotional skill you build every day. Using energy clearing, so getting yourself to a place of neutrality. And this is kind of a little tidbit where I'll say that this is where the practical layer and the spiritual layer are both important. So knowing that spiritually, cleansing for me gets me to a place where I can make a heartfelt decision moving forward, knowing that I'm doing what's best compassionately for myself and others and the loved ones that I'm in connection with, but also in a very real practical sense of humans don't make great decisions from a place of overwhelming emotion, whether that's positive or negative. So riding the wave of emotion to get to a place of neutrality doesn't have to be spiritual. It can be real-time practicality of people don't make great decisions when they're angry. People don't make great decisions when they're feeling a superiority complex kind of difference between you and something else. Or, when there's a lack of neutrality, humans struggle to process and make the awesomest decisions moving forward. So that's just where I'd like to point out right here is a great place to notice both halves of the iceberg. And then lastly, as you move forward in your integration, using affirmations, using your positive reminders to yourself that you're allowed to grow and rise without judgment for yourself or others. Your path is yours, their path is theirs, whether that's a person, place, thing, setting, belief system. I can rise and grow and have love and compassion for the me that is now, the versions of me that was, and the versions of others in connection to me that are still resonating with this older version of me maybe, but not this newer version of me. I can have space and grace and compassion for all of it. It's a skill. It takes work. Trust me, I'm still working on it in real time, yeah? But that's the beauty of sharing this journey online here with you, is that in our sharing of it and in our using examples in real life together and moving through it together, we all are moving forward in our journey to enlightenment. I am, and I'm hoping that something I say today to you helps you move forward in whatever your next step is towards your version of enlightenment. Lastly, we're going to talk about two things. Some practical applications in your daily life of how to use this emotional skill we're building, such as in social settings, gracefully declining invitations or interactions that drain your energy, whether that's, hey, sorry, I don't go to this particular place anymore or engage with this particular crowd anymore because it doesn't align with the person I'm becoming or this new version of me. That's as real and simple as, I don't go to the bars on Friday nights anymore because I'm so happy that I lost 20 pounds now that I'm not such a heavy drinker. Or whether that's, hey, I'm sorry, loved one, but I'm not going to converse with you this way if we're going to turn it into a combative argument. If you want to have a conversation that's about solutions, I'm present for that. But I won't engage with you. This version of me won't engage with the version of you that just wants to argue or tit for tat or cause tumultuousness. Yeah? And so just gracefully and calmly declining those invitations or those opportunities to engage in the versions or the energetic levels of you that you don't want to resonate with anymore. The emotional practical application. This is that self-awareness piece that I try to tie into most of my episodes. Observing your feelings in this noticing, in this awareness of the separation that's being caused as you clarify this energetic version of you in this particular space-place connection. Do I feel guilty? Do I feel sad? Do I feel angry? Do I feel apathetic? Do I feel better than? Do I feel like I'm looking down on this person, place, thing? Do I feel like I'm moving forward for me? Do I feel like I'm seeking relief or escape? Just your emotional processing is going to help you turn back to peaceful devotion and self-alignment and authenticity, going forward and letting there be space or separation for the right reasons. And then lastly, which again is a behavioral practical application that we can use in everyday real time, whether you want to make this spiritual or not, is the behavioral skill to maintain respect, kindness, and neutrality when stepping back. Going back to the very simple phrase of if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Trying to refrain your human from saying or responding when you are not in a place of neutrality. That is something that many, many people on this world are encouraged to have more practice at, including myself. No exception here. And then lastly, if you happen to be on a twin flame journey, I like to bring it up because it's a very potent, powerful part of my journey. And regardless of whether that resonates with you or not, whether you identify with a twin flame journey or not, I feel like my expression of my journey can still be helpful to someone, regardless of whether that's for you or not. I'm hoping that the aha moments of my journey become tools that you can use on your own. So in reflection upon how this is oh so potent in my twin flame journey right now, is in my real-time case, understanding that my new alignment with belief systems, in operating systems that I wish to choose to embrace and operate in now, is creating quite a bit of separation and silence between my twin and I, because the most loving thing I can do for both of us is to move forward in alignment and authenticity and devotion to self, that I truly believe in these new operating systems and belief systems that I wish to exist in. I'm happy there. I'm making better decisions there. I love myself there. I like who she is when she operates in these belief systems. They are very different from my twins, not in a good or a bad way. We just don't tend to see each other's operating systems as similar anymore. And so that creates quite a bit of tension, quite a bit of rift. And again, the most loving thing I can do is let me operate where I want to operate and let my twin operate where they want to operate and believe in what they want to believe in. Because it's not my job to convince that person, or anyone else rather, not even you listening here to this YouTube video, that my way is the right way, or my version of enlightenment or my belief system is superior to yours, nor correct in any standalone type of form. I get to believe and operate how I would like to and energetically resonate with what I would like to, just as you do yours. And I'm hoping that regardless of whether you're in a twin flame connection or not, your devotion to that authenticity, that growth and that expansion, and that loving who you are and what you resonate with, and you're noticing what it does and does not resonate with anymore, is okay. And that hopefully in this episode you've started to gain some skill and perspective on how to detach both emotionally, energetically, spiritually from old energies, old people, places, things, jobs, belief systems, habits, all the things that you are outgrowing, not in a leveling up sense, because we get to level up, we get to feel good about that, but not in a superiority sense. And this is where my journey is taking me sense. Having grace and space and compassion for both yourself and the others noticing around you. Again, like in my last episode where I talked about how when you move forward from a place of love and devotion and compassion for yourself and others, your only responsibility is that. And the way you're mirroring triggers to others is their responsibility. So in closing, I hope that you can take away something today, or you're going to start working on that emotional skill muscle of separating kindly, gracefully, and from a devoted, sovereign place, rather than from ego, guilt, shame, ego, yes, peace versus relief. That's separating from old places, spaces, things, and mindsets. It's not rejection or superiority, it's alignment. It's alignment with yourself. By honoring your path and holding yourself and others with compassion, you create space for all of us for growth, for both yourself and the people around you that you may or may not have triggered, ruffled their feathers. You create the space for growth, clarity, and conscious connection. Hopefully, those spaces, places, things, belief systems can reconnect in a new way with some space and time for development and integration and understanding. Again, you can rise without looking down. I hope that was enlightening for someone today, inspiring, and I hope that you decide to work on that emotional skill muscle with me as well. Keep seeking, keep softening, keep showing up. Remember, the light you're looking for is the light you already are. Take care.